Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's your guy Cold Fire, and today I am reacting to another queen of country music. This one here is Dottie West, and like I'm trying to go along with from memory. I went with Kitty Wells to Patsy Cline to Loretta Lynn. Now I'm doing Dottie West. Here Comes My Baby, live 1967. Now, all these women were all good friends. And she was also, they were like a tight knit of women that stuck together more for protection because of the industry, but it was because, like I said, it was a male-dominated field, and whenever they got the chance, they'd have girl time, and they'd always wind up at Patsy Cline's house. And Patsy Cline was a great cook. She would always cook a lot of food. And Dottie West, Loretta Lynn, Kitty Wells, June Carter Cash, and there was a few other ones that she was for. Brenda Lee. There was so many of them that she had friends with, but she was one of those that protected all the girl singers while she could. The important thing I want to say about Dottie West is I grew up listening to Queens of Country music, but important fact about Dottie West, not only was she friends with Patsy Cline, but when Patsy Cline had her tragic car accident in 1961, Dottie West happened to be in the area, heard on the radio, and arrived, and she was like one of the very first people to get there. She basically helped hold Patsy Cline up because Patsy Cline went through the windshield and split her head all the way back, her scalp. But she was holding Patsy in place to keep her from bleeding out. I remember reading the book about where she said that she was so cut up from the glass, but she didn't even feel it because she was so close to Patsy, and that was her friend that was in a car accident. And did you know that the other car tried to pass another car and hit Patsy Cline head on? It was a mother and I think two kids, from what I remember. The ambulance wanted to take Patsy Cline to the hospital because there was only one ambulance that arrived there, because Dottie West called and let them know that she was going to be going to the scene. But Patsy Cline refused to be the first one taken, because they wanted to take her because she was the hottest thing in country music at the time. She was like the Elvis Presley of rock and roll. And Patsy Cline was like, no, they get to go first, especially the kids. But I do believe that the mother passed away. The kids made it out alive. I didn't want to go too much into that, reading about that part, but I did respect Dottie West for doing that, and it hit her hard too, like Loretta Lynn and everyone else. But I've always loved this song here, and this is another signature song by Dottie West. Here Comes My Baby, live 1967. Okay.
Here comes more tears to cry. Here comes more heartaches by. Here comes my baby back again. My arms are open wide to let more hurt inside. Here comes my baby back again. He's sorry once again. Once more I'll understand. Here comes my baby back again. My arms are open wide to let more hurt inside. Here comes my baby back again. He's sorry once again. Once more I'll understand. Here comes my baby back again. Here comes my baby back again.
Very, very well done, Dottie. Very well done. That was Dottie West. Here Comes My Baby, live 1967. And, let me see if I can copy. Now, Dottie West was also known as a great songwriter. She wrote Gentleman Jim Reeves' song, Welcome to My World. Let me make sure, because I'm almost positive that she wrote a lot of hit songs for the guys in country music. Okay. Dottie West was born Dorothy Marie Marsh, October 11th, 1932. So, let's see. September. So she was a year younger than Patsy Cline. I mean, a month, not a year. But get this. Patsy Cline was born on September the 8th. Dottie West died on September the 4th, 1991. From a car accident, which she helped when Patsy Cline had her car accident in 1961. Isn't it ironic how things like that happen? There is a country song out there, and I'll have to look it up, but it talks about how John F. Kennedy, the shooter, ran from one place. Abraham Lincoln was in a theater. When he was shot, the guy ran to a warehouse, and Kennedy was somehow... It shows how the connections can go all together, and it's a whole song. But Patsy Cline was in her car accident in 1961. Dottie West died in 1991, which would be 30 years from the time that she helped Patsy Cline in the car accident before dying in the car accident. 30 years. Patsy Cline was 30 years old when she was tragically taken away from us. Dottie West was a year younger, and she passed away on September the 4th, which Patsy Cline was born on September the 8th, 1932. You see how weird and bizarre it is? But anyway, she's an American country singer and songwriter. She also had several credits as an actress. I don't remember that. A distinguished figure in the country genre, West was among several people who helped to elevate her platform of female country artists. She was also known for mentoring up and coming artists and being the first woman to win a country music accolade from the Grammys. So she was the first to win a Grammy, female, in country music. Yeah. Yeah, she was driving and crashed into a concrete wall. She was given a ticket for careless driving and for not wearing a seatbelt. A second car accident a month later would take her life on August 30th, 1991. West was running late for a scheduled performance at the Grand Ole Opry. While driving herself on the venue, West's vehicle stalled. West then flagged down a passing driver who happened to be her neighbor, George Thaxton. He agreed to drive her to the Opry. While attempting to take the Opryland Highway exit ramp, Thaxton lost control of the vehicle. The car then went airborne and hit an embankment. It was later reported that Thaxton had taken the 25-mile-per-hour exit ramp at an estimated 55 miles per hour. He was taken to the hospital in critical condition. He ultimately survived the crash. Wow. He was later charged with reckless endangerment and pleaded no contest. He was ultimately sentenced to 11 months probation and to complete an alcohol recovery program. At the scene of the accident, West did not appear to have any injuries, but she was admitted to the hospital with a ruptured spleen and lacerated liver. Doctors also initially believed she might have been paralyzed. At Vanderbilt University Medical Center, West underwent a 30-minute surgery and was then taken to surgical intensive care unit. West underwent a second operation but lost a significant amount of blood, and doctors did not think she would survive. On the morning of September 4th, 1991, West was being prepared for her next surgery. Her heart stopped on the operating table at 9:43 a.m. and she was unable to be revived. She was 58 years old. This is the thing that I was always fascinated by. Like I said, 1961, she holds Patsy Cline's, basically her scalp, together to keep Patsy Cline from bleeding out. And here she goes, and she lost a lot of blood, which a lot of times will result in a heart attack because it puts a strain on the heart to pump blood back into the systems, especially back in these days with the lack of medical technology that we have. Anyways, yeah, I could, yeah. It says right here, West's most significant musical influence was Patsy Cline. They were also friends, served as a mentor to West. Cline took a genuine interest in her career while also providing advice on her stage presence and vocal delivery. I think I was most influenced by Patsy Cline, Dottie said. She said things for people. There was so much feeling there. In fact, she told me, Hoss, if you can't do it with feeling, don't do it. So, but anyways, yeah, because it said, West sometimes worked the road with Cline. Her last performance, that was the one thing I did want to point out on here. She played in what was Cline's last performance on March 3rd, 1963 in Kansas City, Kansas at the Sailors and Sailors Memorial for a DJ who died in a car accident. See? All the symbolisms. They went there the country stars went there to raise money for this DJ because he left a wife and 2 or 3 kids behind and no coverage for funeral or anything. So they went there to raise money to help the family out. Klein was scheduled to take an airplane alongside the road, along with road manager to Nashville, but was delayed due to poor weather conditions. Instead, she accepted an invitation from West to travel to Nashville by car. Klein was carrying her suitcase to West's car when she decided it would be faster to travel home by plane. Leaving instead on her manager's plane, Klein was killed en route to Nashville on March 5th. West recalled feeling traumatized by Klein's death. "I was sipping black coffee and saying, 'Damn it, Patsy, why didn't you come with us?'" she told Klein's biographer Ellis Nassour. Until the end of her life, West kept a scrapbook given to her by Klein that was filled with mementos and memorabilia. Years later, West wrote the foreword to Klein's biography, Honky Tonk Angel, The Intimate Story of Patsy Cline. Now, the interesting thing about that is the reason why she was killed in the car accident was because she became famous really quick, got really rich, but she also went bankrupt for some reason. And she was trying to make a comeback. I believe that it was her daughter that bought the scrapbook for her mother, Dottie. That was Shelley West. Because she knew how much it meant to her mother. So, but now after Dottie West was killed, it was like the scrapbook disappeared for some reason. Nobody knows. But hope you enjoyed that reaction to Dottie West. Here Comes My Baby, live 1967. I hope that you enjoyed this reaction. Me babbling on. Just trying to do a little bit of country music history for those out there. And, you know, some interesting details. I hope that you like the song. And if you like to hear more Dottie West, please request it and I will react to it. Without further ado, I will let you go. You have a great day. Lots of love from the U.S. to wherever you are around the world, anywhere in the world listening. You're loved on this channel, you're admired, you're respected, and we all come from the same place, so let's start loving each other more and more instead of dividing each other more and more. Thank you. Bye-bye.